Dear
This,
friends and
this,
colleagues, we are
this,
glad that
yeah.
we are starting a new program. In this program, we'll be talking about organizational topics from management, especially the topics that would help us as becoming an effective organizational citizen in this 21st century. So, in that sense, today we'd like to talk about a topic which is organizational commitment. And organizational commitment is very interesting topic. And we do have a guest speaker with us, Professor Dr. Sodiq. He is a distinctive professor at Texas Christian University. He's been teaching there for a few decades. When we talk about decades, definitely I can feel that organizational commitment with an individual is pretty high level if that individual stays with an organization for several decades. So we'll not talk more about the definitions. Organizational commitment, in a sense, if we want to simplify it, is an individual's attachment to an organization, how much an individual loves an organization and how much they want to be recognized by that organization's brand. So in that sense, what we would like to do in this short session, would like to ask few questions to our guest speaker and get his input in this area. And definitely we would be able to, link our talk with researchers. So first of all, we want to understand that there are three different types of organizational commitments. They are effective commitment, which is like affection for your job, continuous commitment, which is fear of losing job, and then normative commitment, which is sense of obligation to stay because somebody invested a lot of time, somebody invested a lot of their resources for an organization, and they want to stay with that organization as long as possible. So in that sense, we would like to again welcome our guest, Dr. Sodiq. Welcome, sir. How are you doing today?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing well. I'm doing great. And you?
Okay. Oh, well, I'm doing great too. Thank you to have you in our program today. So would you like to introduce yourself for our audience, please?
Yes, my name is Yusha Sadiq. Yusha Sadiq. I'm teaching at TCU, Texas Christian University in Fort Worth, and I have been there for quite 25 years or more. And I came to TCU a long time ago, and I really enjoy my teaching and love my people over there. My colleagues, as well as TCU in particular, is one of the leading universities in North Texas, and it has been established from 1872, and it's a liberal arts college. The student number is not so much. We are under 10,000 students, but we have interaction with students on private level as well as on general level. But TCU is a very great university, and we have produced a lot of students in this area of Texas for the past 100 and something years. Yeah.
That's excellent. We know TCU is very famous in its business curriculum, and the graduates of TCU are well known in the organizational level, especially they are very performing very good in top organizations. So then we lead to our next question. That is, do you think organizational commitment level is different for employees in academic field versus non-academic field? I know you are focused mostly in academic field. However, you do have students who are actively engaged and who graduated and got job in the non-academic area. So how would be your opinion in terms of organizational commitment? Do you think is to employees who are working in the academic field, they have more or better or high level of organizational commitment versus the employees who are working in the business area, non-academic professions?
Well, thank you so much for your question. In terms of commitment, especially organizational commitment, those of us who are liberal art, we think we are doing a very good job in the sense that in order for you to be a good teacher, in order for you to be a good professor, in order for you to be an effective teacher, then you have to be well organized person, well committed person to your field. So in that sense, we train students, especially how to think and then how to relate to one another. And as a result of that, we see ourselves to be doing a very great job in the sense that, we help our students to be leaders in the future, which is one of the goals of TCU. In particular, is to commit itself to lead the people in training the leaders of tomorrow. So in that sense, whether we are in academic as we are at TCU, and some of us are in business faculty, we all train students how to think and how to be effective leaders in the future. So in that sense, even though we are in academic, our academic structure enables us to uh, effectively teach students how to organize themselves, how to be a better human being, and how to manage other human beings whenever they get out of TCU. And that's one of the things that makes TCU a unique university in this area. So in that sense, our academic career at TCU, for me and many other students, is actually how do we manage people? How do we relate to others? And in particular, we who are teaching religious studies in particular, we train leaders of tomorrow, especially the pastors, the imams, and chaplains, to the essence that when they graduate from TCU, wherever they are working, could it be in the church, could it be in chaplaincy, could it be in medical areas, could it be in business area, they will be able to manage people, they will be able to manage their time, they will be able to manage whatever their structure, wherever they are. And as a result of that, we think that the structure at TCU is particularly enhancing and actually promoting structural element to the extent that when students finish their courses at TCU, they could be effective leaders, they could be leaders of tomorrow, and they could be leaders in the sense that they will do their job very well and they will organize people very well.
Oh, very good. So it seems like, based on your answer, if we recap, it seems like you are indicating that the individuals or employees who are in academic area, it seems like what you're indicating, their level of organizational commitment seems like same as the non-academic employees. Is that you
No,
indicating?
it's a little bit more for those people who are not academics in the sense that in our own case, we are well structured because we are teachers of others. We are enabling others to think, we are enabling others to manage themselves, and how do they manage those people who are not in academic. So in that sense, if somebody is not in the academic area, that doesn't mean he cannot organize, he cannot manage people, but we believe very strongly that those who are in academic knows it better and they do a very good job other than those who are not in academic. And eventually, as many of you know, those who are non-academic today and in the businesses, they are products of these faculty members and educational staffs and professors at the university. It is one of those things that they taught them that they are carrying out in the public. And eventually, during the practice, maybe they learn a little bit more, maybe they do it a little bit more than what we taught them, but the foundation is given to them actually in the academic setup at TCU and many other educational institutions in the area.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for that answer. Okay, that leads us to the next question. That is there a link between organizational commitment and an individual's faith? Especially since you've been Muslim, I would like to pose the question from Islamic faith. Do you think those, who are Muslim, their level of organizational commitment would be a little different than the other faith, or are there any kind of comparison we can make?
Well, when it comes to faith, I think all those religious faith group in particular, we have certain similarities and maybe minor differences. But when it comes to Islam, Islam emphasizes that wherever you are and in anything that you do it well. There's a report from the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the Messenger of Allah, Muhammad, peace be upon him, who says that every Muslim, whenever you do anything, you perfect it. You perfect it. That is, man amila minkum amalan falyutqina. Anything you do as a Muslim, you perfect it so that you can be a role model, you can be a good example to others. And at the same time, as we are trying to do our best in any work that we are doing. We have commitment to humanity. At the same time, there's inside consciousness that if you don't do it well, there's responsibility for you to answer for Almighty Allah for anything that you are doing. This sense of accountability to faith and to Almighty God above actually enables us to do a little bit more better job than those people who do not have faith. Our instruction or our education is not only to earn material benefits only, but also to be conscious of rendering so much help and assistance to humanity wherever they are. So in that sense, Islam encourages every Muslim to be good, to be nice, and to do his job very well, and having this sense of belonging to whatever he is doing. And as a result of that, if he does it well, he's not going to be paid alone by his employees or whatever. He's going to be rewarded by Almighty Allah. And this consciousness keeps Muslim going all the time to do a very good, better job. So in that sense, I'm not saying we are the Muslim alone who are doing that. Other faith community uh, does the same thing, but Muslims are very conscious of doing good job wherever they are and to do the best job the way as able as they can.
Very good, Dr. Sadiq. That's creates a parallel faith-based organizations or individuals. They are seems like to be on the same level when it comes about organizational commitment. If individual has a faith, seems like that individual would be accountable toward the faith as well as his or her accountabilities and responsibilities at a job or any other organizational thing that individual does. So that's a very good information for us to learn. All right, very good. And let's move to the next question that we have. Is a little bit personal, but we just don't want to just talk about theoretically. We just want to know individuals inner selves, or most important value they would be linking toward the organizational commitment. So no offend or anything. So this question is, how would you describe your organizational commitment? In other words, what type of organizational commitment would you categorize yourself? So from the introduction, we have learned affective commitment, which is more like emotional, affectionate. And then the second category is continuance commitment. It's like somebody would be committed toward the job because they think if there is no job, there are no other alternatives. They're going to lose income. So they just go on to keep continuing what they are doing. And the third one is normative commitment. Normative commitment in a sense that somebody invested so much resources, so much time, so many decades. Now they don't want to move or leaving their organization alone. They want to keep doing what they are doing so that they become a collective teamwork for the organization. So how would you categorize yourself from these three categories, if you never mind?
Yes, thank you so much for that. When I look at myself, I would put myself in the last category, which is normative commitment, in the sense that when I came to TCU, which is more than 25 years ago, I have this commitment that I'm going to teach students, and I love my job, and I love the people that are around me, especially at TCU. TCU is a very unique university with good staffs and good faculty members who love one another. At the same time, we have this commitment to help students to learn and to be leaders of tomorrow. And in that sense, in order for us to keep students learning and be leaders of tomorrow, we have to commit ourselves to give the student the best of what we can give. So in that sense, I in particular, I've been at TCU now for more than 25 years, and I love working there. I love what I'm doing. I love my teaching. And those people who are around me, my colleagues, and they are very nice human beings. And I do not want to leave because I think I have invested in them as well as in students whom I think they are the leaders of tomorrow. And we have prepared them to be leaders of tomorrow. So in that sense, the job is which I'm doing now, I think it's a very unique job in the sense that all those students, I have so much interest in them and I believe in their ability. All what we are doing is to give them tools to think, tools to be themselves when they finish college at TCU. So in that sense, I consider myself to be in the third group, which is normative group, commitment group, in the sense that I've been there for a long time, and I wish that I could stay there until I got my retirement, because I love the job that I'm doing. I love teaching as a profession, and I love the student I'm training, because I feel so happy when a student finishes at TCU and then he goes out to the public and to the world, and then he gets a good job, and people are referring to them, say, oh, this is a very good product which you produce at TCU. And that could never happen unless we professors put our totality into this production and love the students and wish for them the best in their life. And eventually, we are so happy that about 90% of our students are getting job, and 90% of them are doing very well in their profession. And we, as we hear from them, we learn from them, we continuously putting our best into our teaching, putting our best into the education of these children or students, and we hope that in the future they're going to be the leaders in this community. And frankly speaking, TCU students in this community or diaspora area are in good position, and they're producing. I mean, they are doing very good job. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an excellent, response. Yeah, pioneers like you and others who build the relationship, invested, especially this kind of respectful professions and institutions, definitely one don't want to leave them. Okay, that leads to our last question. What is your message to young workforce in this globalization era? In this in era, students when they graduate, they have many opportunities out there, and when they go to the opportunities, they find other opportunities. So turnover ratio is a little high here in the United States and pretty much all other developed worlds. So how can we encourage this workforce to be a little bit more high in terms of their organizational commitment to stay long and give their best efforts, so they can be just like you as normative commitment toward the organization? So what would be your message?
Well, thank you so much. My message to students, especially those people who are graduating in few months to come, or those who have graduated this year, we encourage every one of them that what they learn at school is something very small. They are going to go to the world, and they're going to go to the community, and it's there that they're going to put into action everything that they have learned at school. And it's there they're going to show their commitment to the community. And if they do it well, then they will be successful in their life. And we believe very strongly, or we encourage students very strongly, that in any job they earn, or they are working at, they should put their totality there and commit themselves to whatever they are doing and do it well. Because when they do what they are supposed to do very well, then they will retain their job, and then also people will love them. Also, their relationship with human beings, they should recognize that human beings are human beings. Without good relationship, then they will not be able to stay long at job. So we encourage them to develop very good habit of human relationship, nice relationship with others, because there's no other way that we can have without working with others. And if we are working with others, then we have to relate to them nicely, we have to relate to them smoothly, and we have to do what we are supposed to do very nicely, so that we can be great achievers. And frankly speaking, those people students who finish and commit themselves to wherever they are working at, then they are higher in their position, and they always get promotion than those people who are not committed. So in that sense, I encourage every student who are going out to please commit themselves, and they should not be afraid at all that they're going to lose their job. When you do your job well, definitely the employers will not try to fire you whatsoever. And if the firing occurs, then you will not be among those people who are going to fire, because they think that you do not need to be supervised to do your job. You do not need to be encouraged to do your job. You already do it very well, and you do it nicely. And if they miss you, they are going to lose a lot. And at the same, anytime you think that missing you at the job will create problem for the community, for the employer, they are not going to lose you. So you are the one who's going to create a very nice environment for yourself, commit yourself to what you are doing and do it well. And relate to others in a very nice way, in a humane way, so that no discrimination, nothing. And by that, by so doing, everybody around you will love you and they will love your job and they will not like to miss you whatsoever. So in that sense, we encourage everyone to please, whatever you are doing, do it perfectly, put yourself into it, commit yourself to your job, and believe that even if they do not pay you enough, your success in your job is to make wherever you are working a successful place. And by so doing, people are going to love you, people are going to like you, and they will not like to miss you or lose you whatsoever. That can only happen if you have a very strong commitment to what you are doing and have very strong commitment for the future of wherever you are working. And please, please try to help as much as you can. So this